going to be showing you a Taco Bell theme design that's very similar to a McDonald's design that I did probably about a year ago, maybe a little more, I don't know. My sense of time is way off. But it's like a little meal set up. So there is the Taco Bell drink with the little Taco Bell logo on the cup, and then there is a burrito and a taco, and then I have a couple little sauce packets. It's really cute, it's really extreme, it's standing up off of the nail, it's crazy. If you missed the McDonald's design that's kind of in the same style, I will put a link to it in the description box below, so go and check that out, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!
So we're going to begin with an overlay of a cover pink acrylic, basically just a color in the background that's going to disappear. And since I did want a white wrapper to go around, or like to be laying underneath the burrito and the taco to look like it was unwrapped, I didn't want to do a white background because then that wrapper would just be, I don't know, kind of invisible. So a cover pink, just a really nice neutral invisible shade is kind of the idea. File the nail into shape with your e-file, and then we're going to start sculpting all of our little bits. Think of like your condiments and things that you want to go into the burrito and the taco. So I'm going to start out with just a section of orange, pat it out very, very flat with your brush, and then take a craft knife dipped into acrylic powder, either orange or clear, and cut through it a bunch of times. If it's not quite set up enough, the cuts won't stay. So just keep cutting through it until you can see little divisions between all of your slices. Then with some brown, I'm going to set that down next to it again on a nail form backing. And I'm just going to take my brush and pat it out, not too much, and then take a dotting tool and I'm going to swirl it around, trying to get sort of a ground meat texture. Then after that's done, I'm going to set that to the side, make it into sort of a log. Right now it looks a lot like excrement, but just leave it to the side. And then after you have that done, then we're going to take another section, and it's like an off-white color. So you can do bright white, but then you're probably gonna have to paint it. This is for your tortilla. And pat that out until it's, a nice round, relatively thin shape. Mine ended up too big, so I'm going to take and I'm going to remove part of it. I just drew a circle with my dotting tool and then swiped away the extra. The funny thing is I ended up actually making it too small then, because then it won't wrap around all of my burrito fillings. So, kind of do what you want with that. We're going to take and we're going to cut up some of that cheese that we made, and I'm going to attach it with little bits of clear acrylic. If you wanted to try to attach it with nail glue, you certainly could. I just find that nail glue doesn't work the best. Really quickly, so that you don't end up messing up your tortilla by making it so it's not going to turn or bend, you have to wrap the tortilla around your burrito. You can add a little bit of red to the inside as like a taco sauce, but you can kind of keep it pretty simple. It's like a meat and cheese burrito. It's like a basic thing. If you wanted it to be fancier, add avocado or salsa, lettuce. There's so many options here. Could try to separate beans, make beans too. You could have fun. Then on the side, we're also going to be making some lettuce. So take a bright cherry green and swipe it with your dotting tool. You're trying to be random and messy. And then to make your taco shell, start out with a yellow, sculpt it into a nice circle, and then bend your nail form backing. Hold it in place until the taco shell has been set. Fill it with a layer of brown for the taco meat. After that's been in there, then you can add things like you can add your lettuce that you made. You can add cheese. You can add tomatoes. You can sculpt little tomato slices. Again, like I said, you could go really all out and do things like avocado slices or a green sauce on there if you wanted to. I personally, I don't eat just regular tacos. I don't know, just not my favorite. But fish tacos are like one of my favorite foods. And so if it were me just doing this, it wouldn't be Taco Bell then, because I don't think they have fish tacos, at least not by me. But it would be really fun to make little fish tacos. And I could do something like mango salsa inside and, play around with it a little bit more. So we're going to put in our lettuce, attaching that with clear acrylic, and then adding in little bits of cheese. If you like tacos, I do have past taco themed videos. I have one that is a taco and then Ortega. So it looks like a bottle of Ortega pouring over the taco. I did sculpt more fillings for that one. So if that is something that you would like to see, I can put a link to that in the description box below. Now on a straw, just like a drinking straw, we're going to be sculpting our cup with clear acrylic. So basically just sculpt a section of it all the way around so that you have a cylinder shape. And then if you want to, you can try to build up one side of it so that it's a little thicker on the top, and then the cup tapers down towards the bottom. Just gives it a little bit more of that to-go cup look, where it's wider at the top, smaller on the bottom. If you don't want to go through that process, you certainly wouldn't have to. It's kind of a a bonus activity if you want to do it. Then after that's been cured, you can pop that off the straw, and then using your file, then you can file the edges of it just to make sure it's nice and smooth, especially the top and the bottom, possibly around the whole cup if you want to take it the extra mile, but that is something that you'd have to look at your cup and see if it looks like it needs it. Then sculpt a bottom, a little circle on a nail form backing. Set the cup on top of it, and then again on a nail form backing, hopefully without any yellow residue in your clear acrylic, sculpt a nice little rectangle that's relatively thick with clear acrylic, pat it out as well as you can, and then take a craft knife dipped into some clear acrylic to sculpt or to cut little ice cubes. Now fill your cup with some teal color acrylic. Add a layer of it. If your teal color acrylic looks too opaque, because you want it to kind of have that semi-clear drink look to it, you may have to do like a double bead and grab some clear acrylic and mix it in. Don't overdo it because you don't want it to look like it's, swirled with clear. But then once you get towards the top, about, half or third of your cup, start adding in those ice cubes. Once you have those ice cubes in, if you did want to add a straw, you'd want to insert a piece of wire here. But I decided not to give this one a straw, just to kind of, make it a little different. So we're not going to do that. But then on a nail form backing, sculpt a large, very thin piece of white acrylic, cut a rectangle out of it with your craft knife, swipe away those extra pieces on the side, and then pick up your rectangle. And after you can get it picked up, you're going to lay it across the corner of the nail and kind of fold the edges down. It's going to look just like paper. If it's nice and thin, it'll fold around and it'll give you a really nice, realistic wrapper type of a look. Set your burrito down, add your taco next to it, attach those with clear acrylic. If you want to add some more clear acrylic around them to really secure them in place, you're welcome to. But if you do attach them with clear acrylic instead of nail glue, you're probably okay just leaving it at that. Attach your cup slightly off to one side, hold that in place until that's set up. And now I'm going to take some acrylic paint and I'm going to be adding some details. If you wanted to take and do your little sauce packets before you do this finishing paint, go ahead. I always do all of my nails in like sections. And so when I'm doing them, I do them in sections of usually 8 nails at a time. So I'll do all the acrylic on all 8 of them. And then I'll do all the acrylic painting on all 8 of them. And then I'll do, if there's anything that has to be done with gel, I'll do the gel last because I really scrub my area clean to get rid of any acrylic dust and residue before I do gel. And so I don't like to kind of do that in the middle of things. So you'll see the little sauce packets at the end. But if you wanted to do them beforehand, if your system is different than mine, you certainly could. But we're going to do some acrylic paint first. So on the glass, normally the labels for Taco Bell on their cups are a little bit different. The Taco Bell look is just a little different, but I wanted to kind of go with the classic Taco Bell, Bell logo and just simple printing so that there was no question what, restaurant we're trying to portray here. So we're going to be writing this. It's kind of hard to wiggle behind the burrito and or the taco, I guess it would be. So if you're trying to paint this and you find it's too hard to do it on the cup when it's attached to the nail, you certainly could have added the details to it before you attached it. That would be up to you. But again, I kind of have a system that may be a little bit unorthodox to some people where I do everything at once, but it's just what works for me. So then we're going to take some diluted brown paint, add some splotching and some texture to our tortillas, both the hard tortilla and the soft one, and then apply some gel sealer over the cup to make sure it's nice and shiny, both the inside and the outside. You want your drink to look sparkly and shiny. Some gel, some 3D glaze over anything you want to look semi-wet. So the wrapper and some of the meat inside if it has a little bit of grease on it, which, it will. And then matte top coat over the tortillas. And now on a silicone mat, which I just told you guys, I scrubbed it down and it looks so dirty, but I promise I washed it and I really wiped it down. It just is stained and it kind of looks like that. We're going to be doing 2 sauce packets, one that's kind of an off yellow color and one that's sort of a burnt orange color, one for mild, one for medium. Or maybe it was hot, mild and hot. Yeah. So you write whatever, temperature you want your sauce to be across the top with white. And then they have like these little, they're like speech bubbles in the middle. I didn't actually write in a little fortune in the speech bubble. You could if you wanted to. And then after you have that done, you underneath it, it does say live, what does it say? Live Moss. Yeah, I couldn't think of it for a second. So then you're going to write Live Moss, and then you're going to apply some gel top coat over the top of these little sauce packets that you made. And then after you have that done, and cure them again, we're going to peel them off. Make sure everything you just used there was gel products, okay? Gel polish, gel paint, that kind of a thing. And then you're going to trim the edges so that they're nice and crisp and clean. A little manicure scissors is the best for this. Once you're done with both of those, then you can attach them to the nail and you have your little sauce packets. If you wanted to make them 3D and say pouring out, you just do 2 layers and glue them together. And then we're going to just attach them to the nail with a little bit of nail glue. Nail glue does not really like to stick to shiny gel top coat. So if you had top coated the background of the nail with something glossy, you may need to buff that section where you're going to be attaching the sauce packets so that it's got a little bit of something for the nail glue to grip onto. But otherwise, this nail is done. It is so cool. I love making these extreme over the top things, and I absolutely love making food. Even if it isn't food that is necessarily something that I eat regularly, I just love making it because, I don't know, I love cooking food. I love everything about food. Food is right up there. So I hope you guys love this as much as I do. And don't forget to click subscribe, see all my future videos as well.